So now that we know what an MVP is, how do you apply that to the real world? Today, I'm going to describe 3 techniques to use MVP principles for your product development. Number 1, and probably the most obvious one, is talking to your potential users. Talking to your users is the first thing you should be doing for any kind of company, be it a software company, a hardware company, or even a new restaurant. If you don't know who your target customers are, spend some time doing research on that. Think about what motivates them, what kind of products and services they currently use. If you're building something completely new, get some sense of what they use as substitutes for that today. And really try to get a sense of what the value propositions they want from your product or the substitutes. So after you're done talking to your users, now it's actually time to put all of that learning into practice. The first thing to do would be to create a landing page for your product. Before you get scared, a landing page is just a simple single page website where you use a combination of text and beautiful images to sell what your product is going to be. Now you might be wondering, I'm not an engineer or a designer. I don't know anything about creating a website. The good news is there are many services out there that make creating a landing page as easy as writing a post on Facebook. If you just simply Google landing page tools, you can find hundreds of tools that let you create landing pages at a very nominal cost and in some cases even free. I would recommend using software like Unbounce, Strikingly, HubSpot, and there are quite a few for doing these kinds of things. The best way to evaluate a landing page tool is probably the customers that they already have, and as well as the features that they offer. So now that you have created a landing page, how do you tell your users and potential users about it? That's where Facebook ads come in. If you're marketing to Bangladesh, Facebook is an immensely powerful tool for marketing your product. Facebook ads especially lets you target by age, demographic, and a bunch of other parameters down to where they live for who to market your product to. 2 things to keep in mind when you create a Facebook ad. Number 1 is to create a very powerful call to action, and number 2 is to use a very striking image. Combining those 2 can be immensely powerful for grabbing the user's attention, especially when they're distracted by a bunch of other things when they're on Facebook. Clicking on the ad should take your user back to the landing page. Inside the landing page, you should again keep in, just like the Facebook ad, you should keep 2 things in mind. The number 1 thing, like the Facebook ad, is a call to action. What is the primary objective of the landing page? Is it to sign up for a beta? Is it to sign up for an email newsletter? Or something else entirely? Having a big call out for your users to perform that action is invaluable. And the second thing that you need on your landing page is actually being able to sign up for your product or service. That usually takes the shape of a form that includes basic information like name, email, and others. Using these 3 techniques, talking to your users, landing page, and Facebook ads, you have a scientific way to learn whether your product or service will actually be valuable to your users. So now that you have a beautiful landing page up and running, you want to tell the world about it. The best way that I've found for marketing a product in Bangladesh is through Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. My mother is on Facebook, my childhood friends are on Facebook. Facebook gives you a built-in audience that lets you capitalize on, that lets you find potential users for your product. So now that you have your landing page, you should do a Google search for how to create ads on Facebook, and you'll find a bunch of resources through both Facebook's own as well as third-party sites that give you best practices for how to create a Facebook ad. And once you create the Facebook ad, make sure to use a very striking image for the ad, and it should directly link back to your landing page. For example, if you're creating a new job site, you probably should use a very striking image of either a student applying for a job or a student scratching his or her head about finding a job, as well as a call to action a striking call to action along the lines of struggling with finding a job that really grabs the user's attention. Keep in mind that when you're on Facebook, you see a bunch of information and your objective would be to stand out among the crowd. So it's very important that you have a very striking ad to promote your product. To recap, you should use 3 techniques for putting MVP to practice. Number 1, talking to your users. Number 2, taking all of that feedback from your users and creating a landing page for your product. And number 3, promoting your landing page through Facebook ads.